going on, guys? Jeff Van here. Megatron on the screen. We're going to be in a Bismarck. You're going to see Megatron's numbers on the Bismarck. And again, I think he is the choice for this ship. Again, 16.6 kilometers on the range, 20.6 on the reload. It's pretty darn good. You got a good rudder, pretty good speed, 14.7 on the detectability. Bismarck's biggest weakness, all that green superstructure. To me, that's the biggest weakness on this ship. Even when you're bow in, you can be punished with all that green superstructure. You're not seeing the rundown and the breakdown on these teams, but you'll notice in a little bit here, once you start seeing people pop up, that this is a tier 7 and legendary tier game. I want to address a couple things about legendary tier and being up tiered. So for some reason, I've noticed that people, when they're in tier 7 and they're jumped into a legendary tier game, make the assumption that I'm screwed. Basically, I don't have a chance, and I'm just gonna be aggressive and pack this one in and see whatever happens. I think that's the wrong way to play it. I know people don't necessarily play it that way when they're in a tier 6 against a tier 7. Maybe some do. But at least I know my mindset is not that. Okay, my mindset is if I'm in a tier 6 and against tier 7, I'm just going to play the game, I'm going to fight, I'm going to see what I can do. And it goes the same for this. Okay, for legendary tier and tier 7. I understand that you're seeing there 2 Yamatos, a Worcester we're fighting against, the 2 Yamis. Very, very difficult matchup for a Bismarck. Bismarcks like to get up close and personal, and Yamis can basically prevent that from happening. And the Yamis can overmatch, and Yamis can do devastating damage. Like we all know that is a reality against the Yamato. It's the most powerful battleship in the game. It's an absolute beast of a ship, so to speak. And it is what it is. You're gonna struggle when you're in a tier 7 and you gotta fight Yamato. It just is what it is. But that being said, you're gonna see later in this game that it's not impossible necessarily to engage Yamato and have a good engagement. Now it may cost you a lot, but again you'll see that later, and we'll discuss that a little further. But again, I just wanted to get that out there, get that off my chest a little bit about people basically packing it in when they're up tiered. You can still have a very good game, you can still be very effective, and you can still help your team with a win by being a good lower tier player, right? Bottom tier in a match. By being that good bottom tier in a match player, you can substantially give your team an advantage and really set your team up for success. So just want to get that out there. Just maybe some food for thought for the guys out there who in general, I'm not saying anybody on the channel that watches is this or whatever, but I'm saying the guys who basically get a little discouraged by being up tiered, don't be. You can still make a serious impact in games, and you can still cause a lot of damage. Sink some good ships, cap some points. It's still World of Warship's Legends, boys, right? It's still the game we love, and it's just a little more difficult, a little more of a challenge. So take it as that, take it as a challenge and run with it. Just give it that approach, and I think that'll help you with the mindset of not just basically throwing your ship away when you're up tiered. So again, we're in this engagement here. Odin broke off. Odin's still pushing, so he's gonna come back around that corner. You see, I'm trying to basically position myself so that when he does come around that corner, I'm able to punish him. And you see Cleveland there. I'm holding my shot because I wanted to take a shot at the Odin, and as I say that, I take a shot at the Cleveland. So salvo out at the Cleveland defense ribbon. Secondary's going off now. We're getting some hits and some damage off the secondaries. You see there we have 2 fires. Both those fires are from secondaries. We have not fired the main batteries with high explosive in there. Odin's on its last leg. We're going to try to finish her off, and we do. That's their second lost ship. We're at 38,000 damage so far, and we got 40 secondaries, so we're chugging along here. And again, Cleveland is a ship that, the one thing I do like about this build, I just want to get off on this little talking point real quick. Cruisers really feel the punishment of these secondaries. These secondaries really hurt, and you see Alaska there absolutely rips Cleveland apart. And I love to see that because I think Cleveland is extremely overpowered and a pain of a ship to deal with. So glad that that's off the board. We are going to go after the A cap here. You see that we're prepping to go in there and try to maybe find this Wooster or whoever is giving some shots at us. Try to get him off the board, and then obviously push into the B cap, defend the B cap. That's our play. That's our line of thinking there. Friesland, you know, I think his engines are busted, so he's out of commission here for a minute, and you know, we'll go from there. But again, you've seen on this channel in the past, and I've talked about it. If you guys haven't if you guys haven't seen my video about Megatron exclusively, feel free to go back. It's maybe 3-4 videos ago. Feel free to go back, check that one out, and then you'll kind of get a little more of an idea of what my talking points are with regard to Megatron as the commander for this German battleship line, and Bismarck as well. So I think that the secondary reach on this thing, with the speed that the reload is, and still 16.6 on the reach for your main batteries, is a good blending point of for Bismarck. It's long enough on the range that you're not completely compromised, and you can still engage. And the secondaries still have their far reach. You still have the 5 heals to be a brawler. You still also then within connection with that, you get a 20.5 second reload, so you're getting a lot of good main battery salvos out. I think that in general helps you a lot, and will help you be a much better damage dealer and a bigger threat. And I've talked about it in the past that when you are in a ship like this and you do have it spec'd for basically getting shells downrange, being able to get the secondaries engaged at a longer range, when you're pushing and you actually have to push into a difficult situation like a 2-on-1 or something like that, you're much more of a threat because you're able to engage those targets faster than you were before and at a longer distance. So you're just giving yourself a better chance in that regard by getting shells out on target. And I don't think that necessarily you feel the pain of not having the accuracy on the build. So I think that is a good mix of what Bismarck's strengths are, and it's really maximizing the strengths and disregarding the weaknesses about accuracy and superstructure, etc. But you're substituting heals for that superstructure weakness, so you're kind of subsidizing it that way. Wooster pops up, send a big salvo his way, trying to get him knocked off the board. Again, there we go. Alright, so we ended up sinking him, and he's gone. So you see here we're pushing 2 Yamatos, and I think a Jean Bart is on the far left there. This is what we were talking about. You know, some people would just kind of do one of 2 things here. They either get super aggressive and throw their ship away, or B, they would just kind of cower and not want to engage. The latter is not necessarily a horrible option, although it is losing its value now that the friendly Yamato is gone. It's not necessarily a horrible play. It's not the play that I'm going to make. It's not the play that I like to make or believe in making. But you know, I understand the idea and the notion of, hey, let's just defend the B cap. We already have the A cap. Let's not throw the game, and let's not you know, throw our ship away, as the saying goes, right? I understand that line of thinking. I understand that philosophy. Especially when you are up tiered, sometimes it is a little smarter to play it a little slower, and I don't completely disagree with that mindset. Although here, I think that, you know, you have an aggressive ship. You have a ship that likes to play up close. Try to use the islands to close the gap. Try to use the islands to close the distance, and then engage. And basically choose your best target that gives you the best angle to shoot at, and engage that target. Give that target a fight, you know. So you see there, again, with the reload speed and everything on this ship, it is a good option to deal damage, a good option to fight. Again, I've talked about in the past, if you have Megatron, seriously give it a spec for the brawler build, and then get it leveled up, you know, to like 16.2 if you can. That will guarantee you this reach on these main guns, and still give you the opportunity to engage at a decent range with these main batteries, and still give you the reload speed on them and all the other good stuff and all the other benefits. So see here, I'm trying to push. I'm trying to push pretty hard here. I think it's a Friesland is in that smoke screen, absolutely giving me the business. I'm trying to keep the angle against the Jean Bart here, and you see there I'm a little concerned because that Yamato disappeared. I don't know where he's at, so I don't want to keep pushing because number one, the Friesland is just gonna nickel and dime me here with his HE, and if I push too far and try to angle up against the Yamato on my right, Jean Bart's gonna have a broadside to me, and if I just push after the Jean Bart, Yamato's gonna have a broadside to me. So this is one of those situations where you kind of gotta know what's going on here, know where you're at, and you know, at this point I'm pinging the Alaska for help. I'm trying to see if he can radar in there. I obviously switch over to HE because my main threat here is this Friesland, because he is nickel and diming me, and I just want to get rid of him. I want to get him off the board. You see there, we're going to take another little salvo there, another little 5K. I need this Alaska to help me. He's running toward the back of the island, which is pretty annoying to me. You see there, we actually got a fire on that Jean Bart, so he's going to end up burning down, and he's going to go to the bottom. And there he goes. So again, 3 fires, all started by the secondaries. A lot of people would say, it's only 3 fires, but it is something, okay, and it does add up over time. So you see there, I'm getting a little bit frustrated with this Alaska. He's finally turning in. I'm trying to back up at this point to get into his will to rebuild range. I'm not spotted, so I'm basically doing what I can to maximize whatever health I have here. So you see there, I'm in will to rebuild range. He's not slowing down, he's going forward, so I'm like, oh goodness, here we go. I gotta kick it into forward. I'm at my max now, and as soon as that heal is available, I'm gonna pop that, get whatever health I can get back, and you know, let it ride. So you see there, I popped the heal. We're gonna get another maybe 10, 12k, 10k back or something. So we're gonna start at 13k. Let's see what we end up with, and we're gonna roll with it. And then we saw that our Alaska took a shot. Friesland pops up there, and let's see, we're gonna throw a salvo out maybe. Yes, we do. And then you see again, another minute and 12 seconds, we're gonna get another chunk of health bar left that we can address. So the plan is to engage, be able to disengage in the future if I can to get that health, the repair party, and then re-engage from there. Yamato comes around the corner. This is the Yamato I citadeled earlier on. Even with my angle, you see there, we still take, what is that, 6-7k. Yeah, it hurts. Okay, I'm not saying Yamato doesn't hurt, but where's Yamato's weak point? Know your enemies. Okay, know your enemy ships. Now obviously you see there, he angled up just enough. We got a ricochet. So know your strengths, know your enemy, all that good stuff. What's the benefit of having a quick reload? Now, I don't know what kind of salvo that was. He threw this right here, okay? He should have killed me. And he botched it. So you see there, we send a big salvo out there, we get 12k, and then we get 4 citadels on the rear turrets, okay? The rear turrets of justice strike again and send Yamato to the bottom. So again, we have 890 health left. We get our heal back online, okay? We throw our heal out. Secondaries are chiming in now, going at the Friesland at 10 plus kilometers. You know, again, these secondaries are a threat, okay, and they are a deterrent. Get the high caliber, we get the Confederate. Yeah, again, even though we're up tiered, you know, we still have that opportunity and that option, okay, to be a threat in this game. Obviously, we're trying to do what we can here against this Yamato. I thought he was coming out a little more broadside. I was trying to get a big salvo into him to punish him, but we end up going down. We still have the B cap and the A cap. That fight over the B cap that we were engaged in, by fighting over that B cap, we prevented the Reds from getting into that B cap and capturing it. Now again, we could say, oh, that would have been 3 minutes ago, and maybe that would have been the difference in the score. Again, I'm not a math whiz. I can't tell you exactly what it is. But we were fighting a man down here that Friesland has yet to move from, I don't know when, probably the opening bout of the match. He hasn't moved. This Alaska I'm expecting to go down here any minute. Or Alaska, this Georgia I'm expecting to go down. He's basically giving broadside to a Yamato. So I'm a little concerned about that, but I'm thinking to myself, all right, that Friesland, he's out of the way. He won't be able to be shot at, so we should have the win here. And again, by engaging for the B cap and not just surrendering the B cap, we actually ended up helping our team get the win here. And then by being a tier 7 in a legendary tiered match and putting in a good game, putting in some good work, you know, we helped the team out. So that's all that matters. Team got the win. If you guys liked the video, leave it a like, and we will see you guys out on the high seas. Take care.